for duty. Can you hear me? I can't hear you, Dad.
Got
There it is.
there it is.
Can you hear me?
So hopefully everybody can hear me now. We
Yes.
are back live, and you guys are spending your Sunday with the captain and the swab here, and we are glad to have you guys all in. And it's going to be a fun one. We're going to do a little more, a little twist. We're still going to cover all your favorite coins, obviously, but we are going to get into a little kind of who you might become after you become wealthy and what kind of individual you would like to become. Brent, with all that, how you doing this morning?
Very good. Sorry we missed you all on Sunday, but we are back. We had quite the adventurous weekend, Captain and Swab.
Yes.
So yeah, there will be need to be those times sometimes, but we missed you all, and happy to see you here in the comments. Yeah, everything's going good. I'm excited for our chat today. Dad and I were talking on the phone yesterday and getting into some big picture stuff, and that's where we want to go with y'all today.
Yeah.
Much love. How's everybody doing?
Everybody's in the house. We got
Nice.
quite a few people in already. Hi crew. If I don't want to start those, I just want to, hey, Solar Sam's here. I had a conversation earlier this week with Sam on the phone. That was cool. He is the official solar guy of the staple crew.
Oh,
And Sammy's in the house. Sterling's always in the house.
Sterling wrote us a a good one, a
A
real good
novel.
one. That's
Yeah.
that is sizable. That's like something I'd write, brother.
It started hurting my head. I was reading. I was like, oh my God, this
We're
guy is
we're
way
gonna try to
beyond
get
my
to some of this,
caffeine.
but
Yeah, he's beyond my caffeine level at this point, I think.
there's
He
not
was
enough
like,
caffeine in the Western Hemisphere right now.
he's ahead of me on that graph.
I'm gonna read through it, bro, and we'll get to as much as
Yeah.
we can.
The elementary entrepreneur. How old is that guy? Boy, he looks like that's awesome. That is awesome. I love that photo. Man, we got us all in here. Robert Driscoll, Northern Living, of course.
The Sith
XRP.
Lord is among us.
Yep.
Mhm.
Lino. We got Northern
Laurel.
Living's always here.
Well,
Yep.
the weed tea. Weed tea, what up? Hello to you.
BT.
Weed tea.
How good is that name?
Well, it's pretty great.
XRP Slave is good too.
Yeah,
That's
that's
that.
really good.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
They
Hey, Robert.
just on a side note, they'll all be XRP slaves one day, right?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
One way or another.
They'll all be working for us one day. Okay.
We'll actually be loving giving rulers, though. You know, it'll be like the cool part of that movie, The Beach, not the
Yeah.
bad part where they things start going chaotic and people start getting eaten by sharks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
We're gonna be the
Okay. He's 14. In the picture, he was 8.
Yeah.
That's all right. He's my new favorite guy.
Man, and you're watching our channel and you're getting into blockchain.
Love it,
my man.
That is too good.
Too good. Welcome to you.
Yeah. Yeah. Who are the FUD killers here in the house? David Sai. Hey, man, they're all showing up. Good stuff.
I'm waiting on Ben. I got a funny one for Ben today.
Do you?
I do.
Yeah.
I got a couple. I was thinking about singing. I was thinking about,
Oh,
I don't
do
really
it.
have a lot of room here, but I could dance,
Nice. Becky, of course.
Good morning.
OSW,
Good
always in the
morning.
house. Sean and I communicate 2 or 3 times a week, at least at this point now. I think
Nice.
I owe him a phone call, actually. Yeah, too good.
Good morning,
Rocky,
Sean.
Sean. Yeah, one day I'll tell
Rocky,
my Sean Connery story.
Rocky,
Yeah.
we love you being here. Thank you for watching all our shows.
Yep. DWB.
Can we use the blockchain to be able to vote in our presidential elections?
Please.
I want some brilliant people to figure that out.
Yeah.
More brilliant
that'd
than
be
I
good.
am.
Yeah.
But we could look into that.
Yeah.
Very important question. I've called for that so many times in Blockchain 5 videos, Dad. I think I brought up elections in every single one of those videos.
Yep. Yeah.
Real voting might be a nice change of pace. You just maybe it all counts, and maybe it's all working right, and maybe it's all great. Totally
Yeah.
down with that theory, but the idea of voting on the blockchain is much more appealing to me. From the layers of the onion I've peeled off, it's just that would be an exciting change.
Yeah, it would.
What
That'd be
company
fun.
ran it? What blockchain would be used? I think would be the huge question there.
Yeah.
We're having a hard enough time getting institutional adopters, let alone governments, to sign
Yeah.
off on this stuff. So I'm
There,
going to look into that, but I hope it's soon.
there's a lot of really big news out. I didn't want to get too controversial with this one today, but there's a lot of big news out about backdoors. I don't know if you guys heard about the frog and the whole some of that stuff, and that the DEC or DCE or whatever it is, it's a backdoor that was built into the voting machines, and that's all being exposed. And so there's all kinds of crazy stuff out there right now. But yeah. Yeah, voter ID. Yeah. Geez, well, let's not go there. Right. Hey, Becky, how come you got to put this in there? Why are you done working for the year? That's awesome. I love the sound of that.
Yeah, vacation time.
I want her job.
Yeah, I want her job badly.
Yeah.
What do you don't have to tell us what you do, Becky, but we want your job.
Yeah. Well, Becky is mostly online because I see her in every one of our shows and everybody else's.
Nice.
Love Becky. Becky really, well, she's one of the reasons, but I mean, she's one of the bigger reasons that Lewis and I did a show together, actually.
One of my favorite shows.
Yeah, she's a huge fan of Lewis, as we all are.
Yeah,
And
I am too.
yeah, I can honestly say that in the space of crypto, he's one of my favorites by far.
Yeah.
There's another one too that I've been following really lately, and it's called God, we screw this up. CJ, Crypto CJ. Yeah. And C is CEEJ. Crypto CJ. Dude is brilliant. I'm telling you, the guy is sharp, really sharp. But I think he's in the industry. I talked about him before, but he's really the only XRP stuff. That's not true. I listen to Brad once or twice a week, maybe sometimes. Brad Kynes. Yeah. But anyway, I want to address this DWB because I thought Brics was a big nothing. The countries will never reach an agreement on common currency. Okay. First of all, I don't agree with that statement, and I think we're judging that just a little bit early. But you're entitled to your opinion, obviously. But I did a video. I've done a bunch of videos about Brics, but the one I did the other day, unfortunately, it was in my Patreon, but it was really talking about more what's going to happen. I think the focus really has to be, and this is kind of what our show is about today, our focus has to be on what's going to happen, what you want to happen in your life, as opposed to what's been in the history of man the previous 50 years. Because we know that that really has been a scam, most of it. And most of it is just so three-dimensional. Oh, the news told us really nothing happened, so nothing happened. But when you simply can have enough diplomacy, and I want to use that word very, very importantly here right now. China was diplomatic enough to get Saudi Arabia, okay, and Iran to be friends. First time in what? I don't know, since Iran's been created 50 years ago. And they've been fighting for a whole lot longer than that. Now they're what you would call allies and working together, and they have embassies in each other's country being built. That's diplomacy. That's a level of understanding each other equally, which is all we really need. And it's a beautiful thing. And because the fact that they haven't created a currency as of this moment, well, not yet. That's right. But if you listen to my video the other day, you'd notice that I didn't, on purpose and intentionally, I did not use the word currency, because I don't think they're going to use a currency. Because one day we're going to know, as everybody in XRP already knows, these are digital assets. These are not currencies. That's been a bad name for these things since day one. I would call them closer to a commodity than a currency. So I know that that's what you had to call it. Now it's what everybody else is calling as a currency. But I believe, not to promote my Patreon again, but I had a 3-part series, and that's part 1 that I just did the other day about the Brics coin. I'm going to call it a coin at this point going forward. And it's a deep dive that I've been doing. As Brent knows, I've been talking about Brics for a decade. The new Silk Road, as I used to call it years ago. And it's bigger than anybody understands. And it's going to be bigger than money, if you can imagine that. It's about, in my opinion, global peace. I know that's my opinion, but I was amazed at how many people had negative responses to that whole meeting. And I thought, wow, you don't see the big picture, because Saudi Arabia is now with Brics has more to do with global oil and global assets and commodities going around the world, and how they move and how they're going to move in the future, than anybody even understands at this point. But I don't want to make this a brick show. We're gonna get into something else here.
Love that, Dad. It's one thing for us to sit here and live in the church of crypto and talk about us, creating this global economy and global society together, but we have objections to diplomacy. It feels like we've kind of been somewhat indoctrinated, and I think through habit, that we've been doing things the same way, and so it makes it easy for us to be led, and easy for us to be a good friend of the show, good friend of ours, messaged us yesterday with kind of a personal inquiry, some deep stuff, kind of like, hey, is the universe, is it giving me a sign, or is it just throwing me a bone? Was basically the question.
Yeah.
And I got to text him back later, because I sent him something cool, but I think with the changing of habits and changing how we do things, and if we are people who want peace and diplomacy, you got to be more of the conductor than the passenger in your own life. That's really what we will control, right? And
Right.
so the choices that we make going forward are going to be important to all that.
Yeah.
Especially people like all of us who are trying to look at today and the future of technology and, diplomatic solutions and, not wanting to live and repeat what has happened in history where a lot of us have felt scammed. So I'm super hopeful. Dad and I were kind of chirping back and forth. We agree like 95% on something, and we were chirping about the other 5%. Dad somehow is more optimistic than I am, which is just
not always
gift, Dad, because I'm bad, man. I'm bad optimistic. Like I'm like a Care Bear. It's rough, man. But I think it's our great gift in this life, and why we have a show and why we now have this great community. I think we are all kind of on that page of like, man, we want a better future, better outcome. We want to see things in the 4D and not this 3D textbook cookie cutter society that we're being told, that we're being fed.
Yeah.
And I'm lucky enough to have parents that taught me that, and friends in my life that have encouraged me in that, and now a community that I get to talk to every week and share with. It's pretty special.
Yeah, it is.
It's really a good time to be the conductor.
Yeah. It's so funny to me that, when I talk to people in person or on the phone, and they're like, wow, man, you do so much for us. And it's so great to have you. And so thank you so much. I was like, you guys have no idea what you do for my life. You don't understand. Like I live in the middle of nowhere, and yet I feel like I have a family, and there's a group of people, and we're all focused on the same goal, similar goals and targets. And we're an energy, and we're a force to be dealt with, really. And I don't mean just this channel. I mean, all of them, combined. And it's a massive community. And any meetup that you can go to with your people, or people that have like-minded things going on in your life right now, I highly recommend it. Because it's funny how much we did not even talk about XRP. We talked about life after or during wealth. We talked about happiness. We talked about our families and our friends, and what it all means to the future of the world. And it was so beautiful. And I think about elementary entrepreneur. I mean, being 14 and just like, do we even understand like the blessings that are coming that young man's way? I mean, it's beyond me. I mean, I'm a dreamer, and I'm an optimist, and I can't dream that big. It's just, it's so cool. And to be a part of it is privilege, really. I feel privileged virtually daily. It's fun stuff.
Our young people are the tip of the spear.
Yeah. And I want to talk about this. It's really important to me because I know a lot of people bag on the millennials. It's kind of the target, but I don't know if anybody's noticed, but the target now is my generation, which are the baby boomers, and it's evolving. And it really leads into what Brent and I are going to talk about today. Well, we've already been talking about, but the future savior of this planet is Xers and millennials. Those are the people who are going to change the plight and the forward movement of life. And then Z, which is, even after that, they are now becoming more and more relevant, more important. They're being listened to. They run most of the young entrepreneurs in the corporate, in particular in crypto, in particular in Web3. I don't know if you guys saw this report. It was a great Web3 report out last week. And they were like, you basically, if you are a programmer and if you know even what Web3 is, you can name your price in Silicon Valley right now. You can name your price in Australia, in Germany, in Great Britain, all of those those 4 places. Think about it, they're all Western world, right? And they're all like, oh my God, we got to catch up tomorrow. And that's the beauty of what that generation is going to bring, is that they're skilled in those areas that baby boomers are lost. I'm one of the few boomers that are even into crypto, and it's just going to steamroll the whole system. And it's happening now, really is.
Yeah.
And we've been calling for this on a spiritual level. We've been calling for this movement, for this time, for this to happen, to take the oligarchy, if you will, or the domination of global banking and put it into your pocket, your life, be your own bank. And we've been hoping for this or wanting this for a long time, but in particular in the last 10 years. And it's here.
Yeah.
It's here now. Yep.
It is.
Yep. It's good. Good stuff.
Whether it happened, definitely happened consciously, but subconsciously, the whole needed big solutions. Elizabeth and I have been reviewing a book on Patreon called Anti-Fragile by Taleb. And the author goes on to talk about his personal views on the most fragile things in society. I was telling Dad this yesterday. I thought it was super interesting. He said obsessive love and he said economics. And when we were getting into our conversation, Dad brought up that he nailed it. And I wrote this down for you guys. So take obsessive love and take economics and say it's like, okay, well, obsessive love, like people just need to be accepted. People like, we don't need to change our minds about how we feel about a bunch of stuff. It's like just working on acceptance and the appreciation of culture and the appreciation of our differences. I think it's our great strength personally.
Yeah.
So there's that. But then with economics, we knew it was like in the middle of one of the worst economic time at the time, right when like the birth of Bitcoin came around. That is such a huge step. They call it like a quantum leap.
Yeah.
Where it's like, okay, now the genie's out of the lamp. We now have this technology, and like that thing that Dad and I were arguing about, that 95%, like I think there's still fail points in how people will use blockchain in the future. The beauty, and where I come 5% and agree with my dad, I think, is that blockchain's one of those things creatively that if it's one's corrupted, like you can create another one. You can, like, people will be able to create a newer, better, different version of one, and they're doing it all the time. It's unbelievable how many layer ones I just researched in the last 2 weeks. I mean, we're going to find something to use together and create our decentralized world. Like that is totally possible.
And open source will expose it.
I've studied that. Like that is possible.
And the Web3 and the open source will show you who the liars are, who the controllers, and where the manipulation is, and where it's coming from. And that's really going to be the beauty of the whole where it's all headed. So good. I mean, I want to make a point too that a lot of us forget, and I heard it on a show this week, and I can't remember who said it, but they actually talked to the guy and brought it up. But let's remember, XRP was created at exactly the same time, or even just before Bitcoin. And a lot of people don't know that, but like it. I heard it years ago and I was like, wow, okay, all right. That guy wrote the code for it. And I thought, well, okay, but they didn't really implement it, and they didn't. Okay. So it was, let's remember they both came at the same time. So that's very, like you say, a quantum leap in the future of where we're all going. And it really is. And that's something about XRP that I really want to talk about is I personally think, and I've really come to this conclusion here recently, like over the last, I call it recent, last couple of years. the coin to own is XRP. Now I've been saying that for a long time in this show, but usually you say that for a year and then there's things that show you that that's not the path. There's another path. The path is only getting wider. That's the coin. It's becoming more and more obvious. I don't know if you guys saw the Bank of International Settlements. I mean, Russia was exposed last. I heard this 6 months, at least 6 months ago, guys. Russia was testing it with Ripple XRP. Russia as a nation. 6 months ago, they were testing it. And what they didn't like about, the only thing they didn't like about it was based in the United States. But which we all know, crypto really isn't based in any country. So I think they got over that pretty quick. So that'll give you a little tip as to where I might be headed with my Brics conversations going forward. But yeah, I wanted to answer this one real quick. Yes, I think we answered this last week. XRP will have an ETF one day. Yes, I do believe that to be true, Gregory. I saw that one earlier and I was like, yeah.
Yeah, let's get back to our peeps here, Dad.
Yeah, right.
Good morning, Joanna.
Joanna's
here.
It's
afternoon for both of us now. So good afternoon, Joanna.
Much love
to you. Yeah. We got Josh in here. Yeah. Robert says you're his number one, Dad. You're mine too.
There's another great thing I read this week, which was really cool. They tested the top 50 wallets. I don't know if anybody else saw this. And the highest ranking wallet was, drum roll please, Exodus. Yeah. Movement of people.
Well, let's move it, baby.
And that was
good
huge.
For you, Exodus wallet.
That was huge because I've been an Exodus fan for, gosh, ever 5 years minimum. And the creator of Exodus, I don't know if you guys know his story. He's brilliant, beyond brilliant. He actually started working, I want to say, for Coinbase. Wasn't it Coinbase? Anyway, they hired him to do the security and to do all that angle. And he just said, yeah, I can do this on my own. I'm going to make it better than Coinbase. So he went off on his own. Was it Binance or Coinbase? I can't remember. One or the other. But the founder of that is brilliant. He believes in freedom and he believes in you being your own bank. And he's created the most, and he used to be a hacker, as I recall. When he was a kid, he was a hacker, and like, personally, those are my heroes. You know what I mean? I don't want to see anybody get hacked, obviously, but those people that think on that level, there's something about having just a little bit of criminal element that creates genius. There's just something in that for me.
It helps you see all the possibilities of the situation.
Yeah. How do you break the system? Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
Let's see.
What's up, Glenn? What's up, Lynn O?
Yep.
Any thoughts on the Arculus card? Arculus. Sounds familiar. To hold digitals. Have to look into it.
Yeah, I've heard of it too, but I don't know it. No. Yeah, Becky, you need to learn to garden, I guess. And supplemental income. Yeah, we all need that. We're working on
Right?
that one, Becky. Becky, I've got a good angle. There's a bunch of them out there, but I have a really cool angle that I'm working on right now. 2 of them actually, but they're not going to be for everybody, but they might be for some people. And no, I'm not going to tell anybody what it is. I'm going to play around with it for quite some time before that happens. So, yeah.
Looks
What
like
else?
looks like Starbucks is not accepting cash anymore.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yep. Yes, that is Crypto Fox. Yeah, Russia does have a digital ruble. They're also CBDC, I believe. Or did they launch CBDC or was it just a digital ruble? No, we've always had digital ruble. I think they launched a CBDC. Pretty sure. I'm not sure about that. I had a great conversation with somebody that we would all know, but he asked to remain silent this week, who told me that in his opinion, by the end of the year, we're going to see a big drop. And big drop. I said, well, how big's a big drop? He said like 20 to 30%. And I went, oh, that's pretty big. And then he goes, it's going to explode upward after that. And I said, well, what do you mean by explode? He goes, well, you're going to blow right through 100,000 Bitcoin. And I went, that's exploding. Yes, that's what that would be. And he had a whole gamut of reasons why. And he's an attorney. And you guys probably even would know who he is, but he asked me not to, because he's not in the prediction business, and neither am I really. But I thought I'd share that. I was like, hey, can I talk about that on my live stream? He's laughing, going, yeah, sure, but it's just a guess. But yeah, but he's connected to a lot of good people.
I want the boom for you guys now, for all you big hodlers out there. But I also would like one more little gap so that more of us can get in. More of everybody can get in.
Yeah.
The selfless side.
Right. Conscious contact in the house.
Nice.
If you guys have not checked that channel out, please do it. He's a good man.
It's a happy place for me.
It is.
What is the forecast for September? Will there be a surprise? What do you say? That's from OSW. Good morning. Good afternoon to you.
Are they asking me that one?
Nah, both of us. You know more about it than I do, Dad. I liked your point a second ago. We're not fortune tellers.
No.
This market and this system is very complex.
Yeah.
And very hush hush. And to see, like, we've been lucky enough to be exposed to a lot of really neat data and really interesting information about, like, especially XRP. And it's like Dad was saying, the more I look into it, the more the road just gets wider. We're not selling you guys on that. We're just telling you, hey, go check it out, because it's fascinating. It's fun. If you're really into crypto,
it is.
To come across projects like that actually have a chance of mass adoption. Nothing's perfect. XRP is not perfect, but we need vehicles. We need bridges to get to this world that we want to go to, and how we use it will help dictate its future. And so, and with all of these, Dad, like, the crew keeps throwing out all these amazing projects, and it's like, wow, man, like,
I know.
Whoa, dude, you've been talking about XTC. I was
Yeah.
looking into quants. You know, you get into H bar. You know,
I,
like
I, I absolutely
I got into
love
Caspa for
XPC.
Ben. I haven't seen him in the chat yet, but
Yeah.
I got a fun little thing for him on that.
I want to remark on that now. Are you done with that one, Brent? Yeah, you covered that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, I know everybody is telling us there's a crash coming and September, October is going to be really bad. I'm by the way, I'm going to mention this again. I'm going to the Silver Symposium in Las Vegas, 28, 29, and the 1st. There's going to be everybody that knows anything about silver is going to be there. And I believe there still are tickets available. I know everybody there thinks it's going to crash and it's crashing hard. And I'm not that guy. And it's not just because I'm optimistic. It's because there's a multitude of reasons for it. And I'm going to go over them real quick. And that's why I think September, October predictions are going to be really tricky because we don't know what they're going to do with liquidity. But the liquidity of the market tells the price. That changes the value of your dollar, okay, against all other currencies. When that happens, that is either good or bad for crypto, okay? When the dollar's climbing, crypto's declining almost always because they're seen as, they're no longer correlated. I don't know if anybody's noticed, but they're almost opposing each other like gold and silver would be, okay? Which is a beautiful thing for anyone who owns crypto because what do we know about the dollar? They're going to continue to print it. So the more they print it and the thinner it gets, the more value, I'm not even going to say value, the higher retail price crypto becomes. Okay. So when you get that, you know that the number go up, value stays same as in relation to the dollar. The difference is that when you look back at all the money that they printed and you look at all the categories, the only two assets that truly went up, and I know this sounds crazy, but you can look it up, the only two assets that overperformed over the last 3 years was tech and crypto. Okay. They surpassed the rate of inflation of printing. Okay. So that leads really well for, as you can imagine, AI and crypto. Having said that, our interest rates are so high that everybody's calling for a crash. Okay, I get that. But then they're calling for a depression. I don't see a depression. And the biggest reason, I'm guessing here, guys. I'm no math genius. I don't have a direct line to Jay Powell, but we have a lot of artillery. We have two weapons now. We weapons, if you want to call them that. We can lower interest rate and we can print money. What's happening right now is the tightening of money. Banks aren't lending. This lack of lending is creating that's the reason why XRP is at 52 cents. That's why it's not at $5. When the floodgates open and when they lend everybody money and people start leveraging, they're going to start buying crypto on leverage and they're going to start institutionally selling it to their clients. When that day comes, then you're pushing true real adoption. When that happens, you're going to be able to turn, like Brent and I did a show about this, you're going to be able to turn a declining economy very quickly. And now I'm going to explain why. What most of us don't understand and we don't look at is we look at, oh, well, it's everybody's going to lose their job or, oh, that never happens, right? People have to eat. People are going to eat. People want to make money. And when people want to make money, they create work and they do jobs and they earn income. Well, what happens when you and I, and they turn the printer on and your crypto starts climbing and you go from what, 50 cents in XRP and it starts going to $10 and $15 and $20? Are you just going to sit back and go, well, I'm good. I've got a couple of thousand of those. I'm good. I'm going to wait till it goes to 1 million. No, Why? Because you're going to be like Becky and you're going to be able to retire and you're going to be able to buy the farm you always wanted and you're going to be able to financially do the things that you've been wanting to do. Sean's in the house. He says, Al, if I could get $10, man, I swear I'm going to sell enough to just quit my damn job. That's what does that do to the economy? Boom. Because you're spending money, you're buying Lamborghinis, not necessarily, you're buying whatever. And that creates a new economic boom. And how many people own XRP? How many people own cryptocurrencies? Tens of millions of people are going to all of a sudden be prosperous. That's an influx of cash that to the likes of which I don't think we've ever seen. Oh, maybe in the real estate boom, maybe. Yeah, in the real estate boom too, for sure.
Yeah. But so, like you've told me, Dad, crypto is the perfect sponge for inflation.
It is. It is. It's perfect.
Yeah. And it's coming.
Mm-hmm. So not a depression. However, there could be a recession. We've been in a recession. Who's kidding who? I don't care what the president calls it.
Yeah, to Dad's point too. I mean, we're coming into election times and political entities don't want to bust before whatever current party is in, wherever they're at. They don't want to bust coming into an election. So will there be influences on that direction? Of course there will be. And to Dad's point, they have multiple ways of adjusting it as it tightens, as currency continues to tighten. And more of us get interested in this kind of stuff. It's just going to go that way.
XRP Slave, thanks. Yeah, there's over 100 people watching. We don't have that many thumbs up. What did I say? Did I offend somebody, Brent? Did I offend anybody?
I'm not offended.
Well, I'm awake, so offended? I must have offended somebody by now.
Right, probably.
I had to by now.
You said the word Russia or like something there. Just like,
that's right.
Out of here.
But
my God.
Damn it.
Uh-huh.
I have to tell this story.
I knew I should have gone to church and not watched the Stable Crew.
Right.
I knew it.
I had to tell this story that somebody wrote in the chat or in the comments the other day. They said something about, man, I miss the old days when, one news event would just make the damn price skyrocket. What happened to those days?
Yeah.
I was laughing out loud when I read that comment. It's like so true.
That is so true.
The fundamentals, everybody in the world's buying crypto except for the common man. And everybody else.
There's something to that. There's something to that though, Dad. Hopefully we're all waking up enough that we know the media is just completely full of crap. It's enough awareness in all of us to where we're like, well, maybe I should question what I'm being told here.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. It is crazy that people still watch TV to me. I mean, I get watching, like, if you're going to watch sports or if you're going to watch, like, record your favorite show, maybe. But to just sit there and turn on a TV and just check out and just whatever comes on and like and watch that new. Anyway, I have to tell you 111 in the house. Love that. One of the things that I have to laugh about is every time I hear somebody quote the television on their YouTube channel. And I'm thinking to myself, why would you're building your content around the mainstream media? What? Like, what are you doing? If they wanted CNN, they just turn the damn boob tube on. I mean, like, it doesn't make any sense anyway, but yeah.
Well, that's where our channels are different than theirs, Dad. It's them and their crew of flunkies against us and the revolution. So, buckle up, crew.
You're right. Yeah.
If I ever tell you anything that I've heard on the news, you all have permission to just slap me across the face. Like,
So true.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
we got to go into our own think tanks, and that's individually too. Like, don't just take what Al and I say for scripture. It's always changing and evolving, and we need your input. We need
Oh,
your
yeah.
ideas, uh,
Yeah.
just as much as you need ours. I mean, we are learning and growing, and that's how we'll figure it out. That's how we'll figure out together with our communities and how we want to do stuff
Yeah.
to proceed.
Yeah. One of the things I have to say about my partner here is if you ever get the chance to meet the both of us in person, in particular my son, but the both of us in person, jump a train, however you have to get there.
Yeah.
Because if you think these live chats are fun, he and I, there's something about my son's energy with people. I don't know if you've noticed it, but we love people and
Yeah.
it's who we are. And it's kind of hard for me to just stare at a screen or a camera and actually appreciate people. I love being next to people and talking to people. And the
I'd rather
few
be
people,
in a room with all of you right now.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
Like if you ever get a chance, just do a meetup somewhere with my son and you won't regret it. Yeah.
yeah.
It's
I
fun
got a
stuff.
hug for you if you want it. I got
Yeah.
stories. I want to listen to you. Like, I get my energy from that.
Yeah.
Like, if I spend too much time alone and thinking about too much, like, I start spiraling down a little bit because I can even be mad and I could walk up to somebody and just be totally kind to them. And that's my gift. Like, that, even more than what we were talking about earlier, like, that is my gift as a person in this life.
Yeah. Truly.
And I'm
Yeah.
happy, like, I got to grow up watching you treat people that way, Dad. Like, I think you treat people incredibly, and it speaks to the size and the quality of the community that we have now,
Yeah.
on the show. And so that is who we are, and we cannot wait to meet all of you in person. Um,
No.
I'm gonna we're not gonna be those crypto guys who do the seminar and we're like, okay, everybody, all
Yeah.
done here, and then we go off and we're like making secret business deals in the back, and we're like,
Yeah.
yeah, join our Patreon. Like, no, we're gonna be like losing our voices over the
Yeah.
next 2 days, trying to
Yeah.
hang out and talk with as many of you as we can.
That's
And the
so
most
true.
important part of those meetups, and I was looking through my journal recently. I did all this traveling, went to all these seminars, and my favorite thing that I've come across, Dad, in traveling is going to seminars.
Oh
Because
yeah.
in those places, not only do you have the chance to learn something or grow in some way,
That's right.
but every single one I've ever been to, I met a friend for life. And it
Yeah.
might not be me or
That's
Al, you
right.
guys, but there's somebody else in this chat, or there's somebody else that's going to come to one of these meetups, and you two are going to click.
No, it's right.
And if
I
you
can
don't,
name
come talk to me at the end of it,
I can
because
name
we will.
let's see. Joanna for sure. We met.
Mhm.
I met Sean. Sean's clearly a friend for life. Simon's not in here, but we met him. He's a friend for life.
Yeah, Simon's my guy.
There's who else am I missing here? Oh, Northern. Met
Mhm.
him. Ate dinner with Northern. Had a great night. Canadian
Yeah,
buddy.
conscious
So yeah,
contact.
conscious contact. Exactly. He and I hung out by the pool for 2 hours, and then another hour. I think another. Yeah, friends for life type thing.
Who is
And
Dad? Who's your friend that was in the band?
And that's just the people in our chat here, right?
Yeah.
You can imagine the other 400 people that were at the convention. Who's that now?
Who was the friend you met? Who was in the band?
Oh, that's Sean.
That's Sean. Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
Sean was
Dad's had a lot of really cool stuff to say about you, Sean. Really cool stuff.
yeah, no, he's a good dude.
We're thankful
Wealth
for
of
your friendship,
information.
man.
Yep. And I'm so happy Joanna's in the house too.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I saw Hoover got his daughter to buy a 1500 XRP. Love that.
Love that.
That's all good.
This name's a toughie, Dad. AUDRZ. They're in here all the time. Can you help me pronounce that name? I love language, but I'm having trouble. Audris is what I'd say. Audra Z.
Huh. Yeah.
But much love.
I don't know.
Yeah. Not hating on the name. Just
I'm way behind in the chat over here, but anybody's catching up. I'm pages behind here.
Y'all close to Gardenia. Where's Gardenia, California, Dad? Is that LA?
That's like, yeah. I think that's like Gardenia's like in between LA and Orange County, right in there.
Mm-hmm.
I would guess. Yeah. Yep.
MC Prosperity in the house. Hey there.
Is
Voice Ireland.
Yeah.
B-Man, buy a bar and a restaurant. First of all, I've worked in 2 restaurants, and I would never do such a thing as attempt to purchase one. It'd be hard enough to now that I've worked on boats, to actually spend the money on a boat too. I don't know which would be a harder investment, but yeah, a winery had crossed my mind before.
Yeah.
I used to drink a lot of wine, but I can't now because I took a lot of time off, and it kind of tastes like vinegar to me now, which is sad, but true. But I love going to those places and talking to people. So I hope we end up there together someday. Yeah. And I love Ireland. I've spent about a week around Dublin. The art museum that I went to, Dad, was arguably as good as anything I saw in Paris.
Wow.
The town itself, I stayed on the river. I stayed in a hostel because I love people. It's fun. If you're a backpacker, guru like we are.
Yeah.
And stayed across the river, and then across my bridge is was the most amazing old school, how you'd picture like Irish pub bar built on this corner. And I was like, I have to at least just walk into this place. Yeah. And every corner, every spot is like that. And you fly over the country, and it's like, man, I just want to take a car and just go. So I will be back to Ireland. Like, I will go back to Ireland, period. I loved it.
Yes.
I loved it.
The weed tea. Yes, we will invite guests one of these days. We've got a whole thing going on. We're just trying to get Brent back into the swing of the show. And those of you who don't know, Brent and I started this channel 2 years ago now. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so we're just having fun with it right now. And we want to interview all of you, as a matter of fact. That's really been my goal for a YouTube channel, was to get everybody on for 10 or 15 minutes and create a community, because then you know who the people are. Then you know their life story. Then you know what they're about. Then you know their interests. They're not just a name on the screen. They are somebody. Like the 4 or 5 people I mentioned that I've met live or in person have become family to me now. And that's really what I want to do. And we will do that on this channel for sure.
For sure.
So stick around. You will be interviewed.
Yeah.
And be
And for you
careful.
Patreons out there, we want to do something fun and special with that too. Like entire videos.
Yeah.
Um, especially with people we get to know and who really open up and share with us. Like it'd be so fun to see what
Yeah.
you're all about, and
Yeah.
for all of us to see what you're about. Just as important as Dad and I up here chatting.
Yeah. At DWB, and to all of you, please go to the Vegas event. I'm telling you, it was magical. It it's more about the people you meet than what they said at the convention. You know what I mean? I mean, that's cool too. We learned a lot, don't get me wrong, but man, the family, the people, and I kind of reached out to a couple other content providers, and we all said basically, we're going to do a week because one day just wasn't enough. And I want to have meetups just with this group, with these 113 people, and just have our own pub or our own place where we all meet up and just spend time so I can really get close to the people that really care about who we are and who we all are together. So, yeah. Yes, save your pennies for that. Shoot, I'm way behind.
Own it. It's different. I love that.
Yep.
Let's see what else we got.
Oh,
Cheers
God.
to you,
Wow.
John Love. So Brics was something Goldman Sachs was planning over a decade ago. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I heard that interview. He's entitled to his opinion. And I've been studying Brics over a decade. So, yeah, he's right. But what he was talking about in that interview was that's what they nicknamed it at that time, supposedly. But you got to remember, we called it the New Silk Road 5 years before that.
Yeah.
So they didn't plan anything. I know people who work for Goldman Sachs, and trust me, those people don't plan government movement or agencies. So I did hear the interview and I did think it was interesting. However, I also understand that Goldman Sachs doesn't plan government movement, and Goldman Sachs does not tell Putin or Xi Jinping what to do. I can tell you that. I just don't believe that to be real. But I've heard that. I did hear that interview.
Nice.
What's that?
Man, shout out to everybody everywhere. Down, we got people from Carolina Mountains.
Right?
We got them from Ireland. We got them from Ontario, Canada. We got them from
all over
New Zealand. DWB, what's up?
Where's the Kiwi?
Where's the
DWB's?
DWB.
Is a Kiwi. Love it.
Nice.
Brent remembers this. I had 2 Kiwi roommates when I lived in Mammoth when I was a ski instructor.
Sooty and Blackie.
And rugby players who wanted to learn how to ski, and
professional drinkers.
Yes. They reached a doctorate level in alcohol consumption. And no, good people. One of them lives
great people.
One lives in Newcastle. New Christchurch, and the other one lives in a town called Nelson. So DWP.
One of my best friends growing up, Malcolm, who actually lived in the house behind my dad's my dad lived in a log cabin with one of our longtime friends from Mammoth. And his whole family sailed. It was his parents, him and his younger sister sailed all the way from New Zealand to California to move there. Pretty cool. and they still live in the States. I think they're in Santa Barbara.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
we love our Kiwis.
I've been to Long Island a few times. That's cool.
Mhm.
Seaford. I spent most of my time in the Hamptons. I know, roughing it. Spent some time in Montauk and in what's a little town where Billy Joel lived. Anyway, yeah, it was in Hampton somewhere. I can't remember the name of it. That was 30 years ago now, guys. Yeah.
Denver. Good afternoon to you, Patty.
Yep. Denver.
Denver's cool. Denver's a lot bigger city than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
But it still has this kind of quaint architectural mountain vibe still all over it, and very cool.
Yeah, we have
very cool. From
Brent,
Vail, pretty much Vail all the way to Denver, that drive just absolutely blows me away. I've done it 3 times. Blows me away every time.
Oh yeah. Yep.
I think they say Colorado's the most colorful state.
We have cousins that live in Aurora, which is just outside. Yeah. Nice. We got a Costa Rica guy in the house. I've spent quite a bit of time in Costa Rica. I love the climate, and anyway, I'll leave it at that.
Nice.
I was single at the time. All right. That'll be enough of that. Jones Inlet, of course. Yeah, I know where Jones Inlet is. Yeah. Yeah. Cool.
Gotta try it, B-Man. What do I gotta try, Robert?
From Portland. John C is from Portland. We have.
I don't care whatever it is, Robert. Write it down. I'll try it.
Yeah.
Don't even care what it is.
I have 2 sisters and 2 cousins in Portland. I'll leave it at that. Portland's cool though. I love the river. I love the downtown. Great food, by the way. I ate at a little place. It was one of my favorite restaurants called The Screen Door. It was a breakfast place. Amazing. Really good.
Yeah. Nice.
Let's see. Alaska.
Your ride from Vail to Denver. Yeah. Oh yeah. There was something we were talking about earlier. I didn't get to finish it. We were talking about this quantum leaps, and my dad said something to me yesterday, and I wrote it down because it was just such a good reminder. We spent a lot of this show kind of smashing on media and talking about how we can all be that voice together with each other, and from that hopefully will come honesty, and hopefully by using better economic tools we can create honest money. And what Dad said was, are you finding more fear? Are you out there looking for it? Are you out there accepting it? Are you accepting more fear into your life? Or are you focused on and looking for more prosperity for all? And I like to think here we are all on board with more prosperity for all. And that comes in so many forms, guys. It's not just buying Lambos and getting your own private island, which would be nice. But prosperity to me means like what Dad and I value so much with this community. We're going to have family and friends for life. We're going to have people that share things with us that we had no idea about. And it's going to send us and this channel in amazing directions. and that's going to benefit everybody else. So our prosperity, folks, I think in the cryptos and the stuff we talk about, I think it's coming for us, regardless of any depressions, regardless of what the man tries to do. We are incredibly resilient, and we show it decade after decade. And out of that resiliency and out of the struggle, we come up with things like this.
Yep.
We create new forms of media. We create new money. We create, amazing vehicles. We're creating space travel. We're those people. We're the creators and the conductors. You're not
pioneers.
You're not just a passenger in this thing. And I feel that way sometimes, and I just come back to the feeling of like, wow, that's not useless. That's not going to help me build prosperity for myself and for people around me. I gotta put the hands back on the wheel, and I gotta give it a shot. I gotta take a risk. And go for it. And so I'd rather live that way than spend one more minute in fear, Dad.
No, that's it.
One more minute pissed off about some conspiracy theory about how somebody's trying to screw us over.
That's right. And it's such a great point. I can't believe I said it. That's just amazing. Yeah. Who knows where that came from? It wasn't me. But
we're talking about the paradigm shift.
Yeah, we are creators, and that's who we are. And we've created this new technology. And because you and I support it, is the fact that it will prosper, and it will go forward. That's how it takes us to the next paradigm or the next future. Okay, if you will, fourth dimension. Okay. We live in now, the old banking system and the old industrial complex is a three-dimensional. The world is only what you can see, hear, or read. Okay. We're stepping out of that, and we're going forward into the fact that the power and the energy of the universe is within all of us, each one of us. And the more you understand that, and the more humanity gets that, the less we need the old system, and the more we need a new monetary or exchange of value of labor or knowledge that you can trade with others. And that's the beauty, in my opinion, of, well, I'm going to call it decentralization, but open source. And, that's the beauty of crypto. We're going to be able to excel going forward on a spiritual plane that all of us are stuck in this ball and chain that we had, and we don't need the ball and chain anymore. If any of us were taught when we were kids what I know spiritually now, if we could teach that in classrooms from first level up, it would be a brand new world within a decade. Brand new. And we're not waiting anymore. We're going forward, and we're doing that. And thanks to, what was it? Elementary entrepreneur or whatever his name was, 14 years old. We had a 12-year-old girl in here a couple of weeks ago. Hopefully she's still listening.
You too.
I know we dropped a couple of
know that.
Yeah. It's so key. Yeah.
Never too early, never too late to get into this kind of stuff. It's fun. No. It's really fun to try to create and be a big part of your own future.
Yeah.
We got some really cool comments on that, Dad. Sean went with prosperity means no alarm clocks, space to breathe, and time to take those who mean the most to you and chase your passions full time.
Right on with that, Sean.
Lino, creators and conductors. That's it. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think we're creating your own momentum in your own life. We are super powerful. We are I agree with my dad on that. I think we're all connected to everything. And that's unlimited, amazing energy. That is,
Yeah.
you know, don't waste your life. Use it. Use it.
Yeah. That was, yeah, that would be a whole nother show, but that was shown to me. Um, that's not a guess. That's not something I read in a book. That's something I physically, mentally, and spiritually experienced.
Yeah.
So, to it, it's been a part of my life, I should say. Yeah.
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 I think that's why we can confidently come on here and say it, Dad. It's shown itself so much in our lives and in our families' lives that um I don't I don't find myself as being a religious person anymore. It's about all of us, and
Right.
it's about the whole.
Yeah.
And when you kind of look at it that way, I think it really, all the religions, I feel like the best parts of them get at that. That's kind of what
Yeah.
it's like. It's
Yeah.
coming back to the whole. Um, the all for one and one for all.
Yeah. But however, I do believe that nobody taught it better than Christ did. So I
Yeah, it
don't
was
think,
very special.
yeah, nobody
Mhm.
taught spirituality or whatever you want to call all that than Christ did, in my opinion.
Mhm.
Sorry, yeah, young investor is a boy, 12-year-old. Oh, well, okay, then we dropped I think Elizabeth dropped an F-bomb in that show, and we were like, let's just not do that anymore. We have
Yeah.
12-year-olds watching this stuff. Come
Yeah, we're
on.
sorry. I drop them occasionally. Apologize. Um, True intelligence, to our young listeners, as you grow up, true intelligence, because right
Yeah,
around 12 years old, you all start cussing. I was cussing my head
yeah,
off.
yeah,
And real intelligence, like I always call it the creative response to now. It was the title of this book I read forever ago.
yeah,
Um, the most intelligent creative response in the moment, usually, sometimes it's profanity, sometimes you drop something on your foot, it just works. But 99.9% of the time, it's either being silent, it's either listening, or it's giving the best of what you got in that moment.
yeah,
That's
oh,
what
yeah,
that's what
that's right.
intelligence is. And
Yeah,
when you just curse to curse, it finds there's very little
yeah.
meaning in it.
No, it sort of
And so
loses.
that's why we don't. It's not that we want to be censored or that we believe in censorship necessarily, or that you couldn't handle it. It's
No,
We can be much more creative, as speakers and people who share with you than that. So
yeah,
we'll
yeah,
we'll work on that for sure.
yeah.
And we appreciate your parents letting you watch us. It's very appreciated.
Great point right here, John Love, right? Of course. Focus on God within, folks. Yes. Pe- we
Hmm.
we are all walking pure love. Everything that we've done outside of that has been an experience in our life that we've repeated or we thought is real. But the bottom line is a true connection to you and everything in this universe and on this planet is you. You are part of it. You are connected to it. And it's all alive. And isn't it so cool that quantum physics now is starting to prove all of this to all of us? Like I just saw a report the other. This is classic. Okay. This physics, I don't even know who he was. He took these two molecules and he separated the two of them, right? They were identical, right? And he separated the two of them. And he thought in the old teaching of the way things were that they would slowly die because they weren't connected together anymore. So he separated the two of them, however the heck he did it, right? And he put one in a positive room and one got negative speech and one got positive speech. The one died in the negative room, and the one just kept growing more and more cells in the positive speech.
Hmm.
Now, as he went further into his research, it didn't have anything to do with the words, it had to do with the emotion. It's not your words. It's what you feel when you deliver them.
Yeah.
And we're all starting to get that on a level that is now science is. I think science has known this for quite some time. I think the system or the man has decided that they really don't want us knowing how powerful we all are. That's what I believe.
Yeah.
But
Clearly they don't.
no.
Clearly.
Yeah, that's it.
You're very powerful, everyone.
Oh yeah.
Just our humble opinion.
Yeah. It's so fun to be able to do a show with your son, right? And it's not like I had to drag my son onto a show like this or he and I create a show together. He's the only person I can think of to do this show with.
Mm-hmm. Likewise.
I simply don't know anybody.
Clearly choosing my dad was the right choice for partner in this.
Right. Clearly. And we like there isn't a subject he and I can't address because we've been doing that since he was old enough to speak or before that probably. But the beautiful part about that is that all of us have that ability. All we have to do is cut the other guy some slack, right? And not be offended by something they say, because we currently live in a society of, well, that person offended me. I'm offended. I'm taken by that statement. I'm hurt. They've offended me. When we can get past that, we're going to explode as a society. And unfortunately, the first 2 decades of the internet has created more of that. But what I think the next 2 decades of the internet is going to create is people like us on this channel and the people that are in our group that are going, no, we're tired of that paradigm. We're done with that. We're going forward to prosperity, positivity, and love for all. And no more of the separation stuff. It's like, where's the value in it?
There is none, Dad. There's useless.
Yeah.
That's how we get scammed.
Yeah.
That's the ruse. Not only is it, they give you enough history to try to get you to forget how amazingly spiritual, powerful you are.
Yeah.
But then they divide us so that we don't come together and discuss it. Like, they're like, just watch the news. Well, you'll be updated on everything that you need to hear.
Yeah.
Live details coming at you now.
Like, was it?
Have you seen anybody on television talking the way that we're talking to each other? Like,
no,
I haven't seen anything on television. Like, I'm seeing in the comments right now. It's beautiful.
Yeah, that's
because we're connected, because we're together. Like, that's the best part of this.
Yeah, that's it. You have to be open with your kids. You just do,
My dad has not only been my friend, but my dad's been my best friend in my life. And that's really special. When your dad hugs you and kisses you and tells you that, you can ask any question in the whole world, whatever it is that you want, just ask. And I'll try to give you the most honest answer I can. That's who I grew up with. And I turned into that person. I think I was always going to turn into that person.
Yeah, you were.
It sure made it a lot easier to get through the BS of my life, having somebody like you to talk it all out with, Dad. So
yeah, it's been good, huh?
It's been a real good ride for us. I love you to pieces, man. There's no one else I'd want to be here with.
No, and the funny thing is we're gonna have so much prosperity coming. I don't want it to change us all, but it's coming, guys. And really, we're going to kind of turn our show a little bit more that direction, because I've seen money ruin people in what I do for a living, and I don't want that for any of us. And I don't live in fear, so I don't worry about you guys. but I really want to help you guys understand that money isn't everything. In fact, money is just one small element of the beauty of where you're going. And it's going to be a focus of the show for going forward. How to handle your money, what to do, maybe even how to get out of some of these trades. Because one of the hardest things you guys are going to, we talk about it all the time in the show, but one of the hardest things you're going to do is, when do I sell? And what percentage do I sell? And why would I even sell? All of those questions are things that, as we get a little further down the road into some profits, we'll address.
Yeah.
At a better level.
My dad taught me this. Start thinking about your plan now. Pencil out the numbers now.
Yep.
So that you're not in this emotional roller coaster of, what do I do when this thing's going supersonic and, right about when it's going to dump. I've been caught in that before, and it is not the way to invest.
That's a great point. Northern Living, money solves some problems, creates others. I'm going to tell you that I know people who have more problems that are wealthy than I do people who are not wealthy having problems. They have way more problems. They have bigger problems, and they have constant problems. And those problems are constantly pounding on moments of their day. If you think to yourself, well, I work 40 hours a week, and those problems are pounding on me. Well, just imagine every waking moment, those people have possibly hundreds of people depending on them, or requiring their attention, or wanting money, or wanting payments, or wanting to talk to them on the phone, or interaction of any kind. They don't have a life. Most of them don't have lives. They're complete workaholics. And you say, well, if I had $1 billion, I just quit my job. It's not that easy, because you have hundreds of people that depend upon you being successful. It's a weird place to be, guys. Yeah. Exactly. You don't want to be too rich. Yeah.
Exactly. They're heavy lies the crown.
Yeah, and John.
If you see being rich as having the crown in your life, it can get complicated real fast. When you've got to manage, you don't know how to manage money. Like I'm not the greatest money manager I know. Like,
no, me either.
If this thing went, parabolic tomorrow, it'd be a scramble it'd be a job just to figure that out. And so
it will be a scramble.
Yeah. It's, getting a little plan ready right now for yourselves, is important, because I'm with Dad. If there is a lull here, I keep thinking that next year is just going to pop. I just don't see how it doesn't. But I don't know. I'm going to be ready for it to do that. Certainly.
If I were to make a prediction, oops, sorry about that. If I were to make a prediction, I made this with Simon yesterday, actually. I would say a year from now, this market's going to be booming. And that's only because Bitcoin's halving is in April. And a few months after that that's been, every other bull market we've had. And by then, I think the printing press will be in full gear. Go
look at that chart. Go look at the Bitcoin historical chart.
Yeah.
And look at that pattern.
6 months after, right?
After don't count on it being that. But it is a pattern. Could be exciting. Could be very exciting.
Yeah.
Could be exciting not just for us making a bunch of money, guys, for adoption, for us actually using this asset that we've acquired, or that we're interested in.
So true. Hey, we're going to have to wrap this up. I've got to get moving along.
Yeah, me too.
So what football starts football starts next week.
Like 2 or 3 weeks, like September 10th.
Oh, okay. All right.
Mhm.
I was going to say our viewership's probably going to drop right off, but who knows? Football fans, maybe. I don't know. I don't even watch football anymore. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watch less and less.
Robert, I can't wait for you to experience it either. We are all going to
Mhm.
experience it together. It's going to be a lot of fun, man. I'm telling you, it's going to be too much fun. And we are going to do the cruise ship thing. I promise you that. I don't know what dollar number it's going to take, but we're going to plan one. See how many how many
Yeah.
people will show up. Yeah. We
Golly, that'd be fun.
wouldn't it though?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's gonna be way too much fun. And Vegas too, guys. Plan for May. I have not talked to Brad about it. I don't know what he's got planned, and I haven't heard him say anything, but save your pennies for that. I'm telling you, it's worth going to. And by then, we should be looking good. Yeah, I'm
Mhm.
guessing.
I can't wait to meet you all there.
Yeah, sorry,
Whoever
Peter.
goes.
Yeah, American football. Yeah. Yeah. I don't watch either of them, so yeah.
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 Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Thank you.
we'll have life jackets.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you too, Becky.
Yeah.
Have a great evening, Steve.
Steve. Yeah. Peter.
I love football, but no cable. I'd rather be here with the crew.
Yeah,
That's
right.
what I'm talking about, Slave. That's what I'm talking about.
Nice. So we're stuck with Slave.
We love you
He's
too,
stuck with
man.
us. Yep. Yeah.
Thank
Thank
you
you,
all so
Leno.
much for the comments today, everybody.
Yeah.
For any of you we didn't mention, we love you and appreciate you. That's the big reason to do this. This is
DWB, you're welcome. I have some real strong feelings about the Brics. So yeah, that one triggered me. I got a little triggered on that one, brother.
uh-huh. You
Hopefully I
touched
didn't
one of his
offend you.
circuits.
Yeah. Yeah. I have a 2-part series. I already did part 1. I already mentioned this, I know, but I have a 2-part series that's coming up about it in my Patreon, and I've already written both shows in my head, and I filmed one yesterday and it wasn't good enough. I'm redoing it, so it's gonna be fun. But
Nice. Sean, my
and that,
first drinks with you, brother.
yeah, right.
Uh-huh.
Yep. Sean was in Vegas.
Cheers to good old Daytona Beach. All the love to my fellow Floridians.
Becky, you're retired. You want to be the moderator?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding, but whatever. It's probably a great idea.
Yeah, Becky'd probably be excellent.
Yeah. We have hired some people to help us out, so it's all going to get a little smoother, we hope, in the future. So not some people, a person who is near and dear to us. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We're excited about the future of this channel and where we're all going together. So, all right, guys, with that, I think we're going to get out of here.
Last thoughts, Dad?
Last thought. Go ahead. What do you got, Brent?
I said it, man. I freaking love all of you. I love you, Dad.
Yeah, thanks.
I love you, crew.
Yeah.
If you come to Vegas, you're probably going to get a hug from me. Okay, I'm going to give you the old Care Bear stare.
Right.
And we're going to be like this. So,
just be careful. We're both short. Okay.
Yeah.
Zach is like 6'5" or whatever he is. I went to his belt buckle, I think. I was like, great. That was so cool, though. It was
that should make
good.
for very fun pictures.
So we got to get, okay, Becky said she'd do it. Boy, Becky, that's brave.
That's real.
Yeah, okay. She's retired. Why not? Yep.
Nice.
Love me some Becky.
Hey, thanks for coming in today, Weed Tea. Loved your comments.
Yeah, always. Yeah. Northern, I wish you could have met Brent.
Yeah.
Anyway, you will. You will.
Yeah.
Yep.
We're doing it.
Yep.
We're really doing it, Harry.
We're really doing it.
Uh-huh.
Okay, guys. I don't really have any final closing comments. It's not like me to, just
Perfect. Let's get out of here. Everybody enjoy your Sunday.
yeah,
Thank you for
enjoy what
being
you
with
have
us.
left.
Dad, we're back here next Sunday. All systems go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah,
It
we
is.
just got busy on this last one, everybody. We'll be back here. This is what was like to me like the toughest show is now my favorite one to come on here and do.
The live one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just when you first start them and you're in this position and you're doing kind of a moderator and
Yeah.
you've got so many, you're so into all the crypto right now, Dad, in a very intelligent way that really want to open the floor to you to talk. And, I want to help get the voice of the people too. And so figuring that all out was a thing, it was like, and then
Yeah.
you just your brain kind of shuts up and you're like, oh man, I just enjoy this. I just enjoy being with all of you.
Yeah.
So with that, crew,
we
love being with all of you. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Robert, it's next Sunday. I want to say 12:30, 1 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, is our live.
We did 12:45 today, so right around there.
Somewhere in there. We'll post it in a couple hours before, we hope. Okay, guys. With that, I'm gonna get out of here. And 1, 2, 3.
We are out.
I think we're out. No, we're not.
No, we're still. We did it again.